This is a cup that one of the members from sent me because appreciates everything that I've done to help her, and this is like the coolest cup ever. Someone's been bad. Come on, I'm live right now. I need to get my hair cut today. Is there a place you know that's open? Walmart? I don't know if I've ever been to Walmart to get my hair cut. Here's to you guys. Good morning. So, last night I was kind of surfing around on YouTube and I seen that there's this new doctor. I mean, and stuff, but I wasn't sure how he. I'm not sure how he's going to respond to it. Um, I have with medical providers is they're for the ketogenic diet or they're not for it. Well, now you got doctors that are starting left and right that used to say diets are garbage and you shouldn't be following them, and they're popping up like it's going out of style saying, well, if you're going to be on a keto diet, you should be on a plant-based keto diet. I don't get this stuff. I don't understand. Well, it's either they were in or they were out, and now all of a sudden they're trying. I think what they're starting to do as keto takes off is they're starting to kind of weasel their way into it because when they see that it's like a mainstream recommendation for most health conditions, they're going to they they're going to be left out. They're going to be held accountable to advice. And this doctor was basically from one doctor, and it wasn't even real research. It's just, I think it's just basically um, anecdotal evidence that this doctor is overnight. It's kind of a big night for me. I spent a lot of time online surfing around, checking out different people's channels. Found a lot of interesting information and kind of doctors and stuff before that I seen talking against kind of for keto, and it's slowly changing, and I think that's a good thing. But I left to this doctor that was saying if you're going to be keto, be plant-based keto. Um, was basically you're using the research from one doctor instead of a meta even a survey type study. You're just looking at one doctor's research and stuff that they put out, and that's all that you're using. So how could you take one doctor's recommend and base that upon the rest of the world? And then what about all the other people that are having good results on keto that changing their, and you're talking against that? And then I even stated some big names, Dr. Fung, Dr. Eric Westman, Dr. Berg, Dr. Darren Schmidt, Dr. Stanley Lang, Dr. Feeney, Dr. Volek. These these doctors are liars. They're just Noakes. Tim Noakes is a liar. I said this is the stuff that I don't get. Is like these doctors that have 10, 15, 20, 30 years of research and studying and prescribing stuff like this to their patients, but yet you get one simple little doctor wants to be some kind of hero and talk against them. They've done tons and tons of research and put tons of their own money these medical findings, but yet there are still small doctors out there that don't even aim for themselves that are speaking out. So that's the stuff that I really don't get. I'm currently right now on this doctor's page. He only has like 2,000 subscribers, and I'm not like being disrespectful to him or anything like that, but I'm talking very openly with him. This is the way you start out your video by saying this is a topic on the keto diet, and this is where you put tons of lard and fat on your food. Girls, cut it out. Lay down. Get up there and lay down. Relax. Sorry, the puppies want the morning, and I ain't ready for all that yet. As you can see, I'm in bed and just wanted to talk to you stuff that I've picked up on overnight anyway. Um, and I want to communicate more with these people that are against the keto diet. I'm starting to go more to the vegan channels and at least talk, not being disrespectful, and it's very important for us to do stuff like that. Is not force ourselves upon people, but at least talk about our experience. And I even rarely bring up anybody else that does keto or any other medical providers that talk about keto. It's more along the lines of like my own experience and what I have experienced with me and my aunt that I know, and I let that speak for itself. Um, there's just there's a lot of bad information, and one of the things that I want to do is I want to try to dispel some of that. I want to give people the good information. This doctor even talked about how fat is what causes the hardening of the shell of the heart, and that's what causes the reduced heart function or the heartbeat or heart contraction, um, the eccentric motion and the contraction of the heart is what he was talking about reduction of, and that's not even true. It's already been studied. Refined carbohydrates and sugar are what actually of the cells that cause the reduced contraction of the heart. It doesn't have anything to do with fat. It's when you have the presence of refined carbs in your system that inflames your arteries, that fat then becomes a problem. But if you eat a clean ketogenic diet and it's predominantly based off healthy saturated and like olive oils, coconut oils, fat from the meat and stuff that we eat, and we're not adding sugars and stuff in there, and we're staying on top of the sugars that are hidden in it, even the small amounts that are hidden in stuff that we eat is not going to affect hardening of the heart and cells and stuff to the extent where it's going to cause reduced heart function. And I think that's where a lot of these plant-based doctors are falling by the wayside, is they're thinking that they can convince people that eating a plant-based diet is what's going to cure that, and that's not necessarily the case. I mean, if you have things um, that are already set up in your family, things that have been passed down through our bloodline, and almost every single generation in some form or fashion ends up getting it no matter how you eat. But how you eat can reduce the effects of it and how you actually handle it and recover from it. We have diabetes. What is the diabetes is bad in the family, right? Hi.
Yeah, on the Paso side.
On the Paso side, diabetes and
Heart disease
heart disease
and cancer.
and cancer. And I think everybody so far, almost every single generation, has had some form, not every person, but in each, like,
Yeah, all of the brothers, except for one, which is Uncle O.C., he died of massive heart failure. Has died with cancer.
and that's what I got worried about. Is they started talking about my heart would beat real fast, and all of a sudden it would go back. When it was doing that, it would leave me lightheaded and almost feel like I wanted to pass out. And the doctor said, "Well, that's anxiety attacks."
Yeah.
And I said, um, yeah, I don't necessarily know how to deal with it sometimes, because I could be pushing a shopping cart through Walmart, just looking at food, or just going to look at a new TV or something like that. And I remember walking down the TV aisle or turning into the electronics section and pushing the shopping cart. And I didn't smoke, eating good food, no matter what. And then all of a sudden, my heart started beating extremely fast to where it felt like my throat was throbbing, and I felt like I was going to pass out.
Anxiety runs in my family too.
And it all of a sudden, it just kind of got faint and almost felt like I was going to fall over. And I grabbed the shopping cart, and then the shopping cart kind of held me up for a second, and then I came out of it. Blind to my doctors, but this hadn't happened my whole life. I didn't always have anxiety attacks. I started complaining about this after I come back from Iraq. About 6 months after I come back from Iraq, I would sit in the doctor's office and say, something's wrong with me. Why does my heart keep beating fast like this? I could just be watching a movie. I could be laying in bed. I could be doing something simple and calm. I could be in church. Just start beating so fast, and it'll make me feel like I'm gonna pass out, and then it'll just quit, and it won't happen again for another month or 2 months. And she said, "Well," she said, honestly, in my most professional opinion, I believe that's anxiety. And they could never find nothing. Even when they put me on the pills, it didn't fix that.
I've
But
had them so bad where I passed out and stopped breathing.
well, since I went keto, I don't have that problem no more. It hasn't happened.
I haven't had them in a long
I
time.
have one or two, like when I first started keto, I had one or two anxiety attacks. But after like the 6 or 7 month mark of being on it and staying on it, I never had that stuff anymore. I don't even know what that feels like anymore, and I don't want to know it. I mean, I know what it feels like, but a lot of that stuff is stopped for me. And that's what I don't understand about these plant-based medical providers and stuff. And then they want to talk about, or they're against keto, and they want to talk about how it doesn't work. And there's like, so what do you want me? What do you want me to do? Do you want me to live the rest of my life dealing with medical problems, being overweight, being uh, destroying my joints, living a lower quality of life just because you don't agree with the fat that I'm putting in my body that's causing me to become healthier? So you want me to suffer for the rest of my life because you don't agree with the diet I'm eating, but yet it changes. Morning. It changes how I feel and how I live my life. Um, it's just a matter of how I want to follow it, and who I want to follow, and how I want to follow. And there's a lot of people out there that will try to stop you from living your life the way you want to live your life. But the main thing is to just constantly grind it out and just do what makes you happy. And um, you only get one life.
Yeah.
And I was listening to a video from a coworker of mine. He was a real bad. Lost everything so many times. Lost his family. Lost everything that he had. And he said there's the will, the won't, the can, and the can't. It's what he called it: the will, the won't, the can, and the can't. And he said, which one are you? Do you have the will to do it, but you just can't do it? Can you do it, but you just won't do it? So those are the choices that you make in your life: the will, won't, the can, and the can't. Which one are you going to choose? Because I'm going to fail trying to do the best that I can. Because I won't choose lack of will. And it was a powerful message in what he was. So which one are you going to choose in your life? And I choose. I've chosen. I will still continue to choose to do the best that I can, and that's just how that's going to, that was he was talking about people not giving everything that they can in their life, and it was, he's a sales manager, a car sales manager, so there are a lot of times in car sales that people don't put forth their complete effort to sell the vehicle. And he says you can take the will, the won't, the can, and the can't through every part of your life. If you can't do something, I'm damn sure going to make sure that my will is strong enough to prove that I can't do it. Good morning. And he said it's one of those situations where how are you going to live your life? Are you going to let other people affect how you live your life? Try the best that you can. Girls, calm down. Paige, lay down, girl. Get up there and lay down.
Do not lay down.
Paige, get up there and lay down, girl. That wasn't an option. Get up there. Get up there. Lay down. Good girl. Get up there. Good girl. You know your daddy's girl. Anyhow, so I choose to live my life trying to do the right thing. Paige, you heard what I said. Get up there and lay down now, girl. Sorry, guys. If I don't correct her, she'll start trying to get away with everything. She's been doing a little bit of that lately. Give her an inch, she takes a mile. So recently, I kind of fell into a little bit of a bad habit. I haven't smoked cigarettes for 6 years, and I haven't told you guys this. Even in some of my videos, I've realized that I've had cigarettes in view, and I kind of slide it out of the way. And I haven't smoked in years because one day my uncle called me up, and he talked about having a heart attack, and he said the doctors pulled these long tube like 8 to 10 inch black tubes out of my arteries. And he said that my doctor had been telling me for years to quit smoking because something was going to happen. And he said I come in late Friday night from on the truck, and he said I had a good weekend with the family. Sunday I was going to leave out. I sat down on the couch, put my boots and stuff on, and he said I sat back on the couch, and he said it felt like somebody hit me in the chest with a baseball bat. And he said I knew something was wrong right then. So he had his wife take him to the hospital immediately. He had a mild heart attack, and they found out that only like 6% or 8 something at the time was working. And they had said it was predominantly because of smoking, because of years of him abusing his body and just not taking care of himself and being on the road as a truck driver all the time and just tearing himself up. So he changed his life. He quit smoking. He started eating good, healthy foods. He's kind of fell off a little bit. He didn't go back to smoking, but he went to eating just a lot of junk food, and he's gained some weight, but he still looks good and he's healthy. I think his heart, at the last I checked, I think it was up to 30-some% operational. He has to wear, I think he's got a pacemaker and stuff now. He can no longer drive over the road because he's had a heart problem. And with that pacemaker in your chest, they make sure that you're not working around electronic devices. So he called me up and he told me what happened, and it had changed my life right then and there. I quit smoking, cold turkey, just quit. I didn't want to end up that way. Well, for years now, I've been cigarette free, and I've I got to a point about probably a month and a half ago where being back down south, everybody around you here smokes. Everybody's got a cigarette in their mouth. They got a pack of cigarettes in their car, in their purse. Anywhere you turn, they got cigarettes sitting there waiting for them in case they need to grab one and smoke it. And girls and guys, it don't matter who they are, they got them. And I started leading into temptation and getting stressed, and then I started remembering how, smoking a cigarette in the morning with a cup of coffee or a cold diet Pepsi or something would really cure a lot of things for me. So I started getting to the point where I really wanted one. So I said, to hell with it, I'm gonna go buy me a pack of cigarettes. So I went and bought me a pack of cigarettes, and man, that was nice for about a month and a half. That was nice. And the other day I said, I can't do this no more. And I had some rough shoulder pain, some knee pain, and stuff like that. And the pain wouldn't go away from my shoulders and my knees, and my hands started hurting because I'm a mechanic. I use my hands all the time, and just the constant contraction of my hands, grabbing tools and stuff above my head, and in my elbow area, starting to get a lot of pain in the joint. And when you're under a vehicle and you're constantly turning a wrench back and forth, the ratchet, you're working your joints and stuff over and over and over. And I was already having some problems, so I said, I wonder about that CBD oil. I wonder if that stuff's any good. And I know in the state of Louisville it's legal now. You just can't get the THC version, and I'm allergic to THC, so I can't have it anyway. So I went to the local in Louisiana. It's called Innovapes, and I got a small jar of their 250 milliliter or whatever, however it's measured, CBD oil. It can't be real. This can't be true. It can't work or anything like that. I can tell you right now that it does work somewhat, but it doesn't. For me, it doesn't work like they say it works. Um, so the guy in the store says, I want you to take about 10 drops and put it underneath your tongue. And he said, I guarantee before you walk out of here, you're gonna feel something. And he said, I don't see you being in here any more than 5 or 10 minutes. And that's what sold me, because within 5 minutes, I had already started to feel more awake. And people would think, wait, that's a cannabis product. No, it's the oil from the plant. It doesn't have anything to do with bad side effects or anything like that. So, my coffee from a mason jar. Um, I took some, and sure enough, within 5 or 10 minutes of taking that CBD oil, I had woke up, and I started feeling like I actually had a lot of energy. But the joint pain and stuff didn't go away. I guess it affects everybody differently. It's how your body reacts to it. And then I asked that man, I said, well, would it be any better if I smoked it rather than just putting it under my tongue? He said, I honestly think taking an oral. But he said, again, people are different, so you don't know how it's going to react to you. So I ended up getting a small container of strawberry flavored CBD oil. Doesn't affect my ketosis at all. It's got like vegetable glycerin and propylene glycol. And, propylene glycol is a stabilizer in antifreeze that we put in cars. So it's probably not the best thing, but it's in everything. It's in the food dyes. It's in the food or the extracts and stuff. It's in inhalers and stuff that people have for asthma. They use it as a carrier base to carry the product from inside the the product that's in it, and that's what actually carries the flavor of the medication and when you inhale from your inhaler. So, girl, you better get out. Peanut, stop that. Don't be chewing on that wall. Get out of there. Anyhow, so I tried that CBD oil, no THC, and I think overall it really does help because it gives you this constant energy level throughout the day. It doesn't just you don't crash off of it. You don't have any kind of crazy unstable energy feeling. It's just nice and calm. And I've been doing the CBD oil, no cigarette at all since last Friday. Not this past Friday, but the Friday before. And I don't even have the urge to. So one thing that CBD oil has done for me is it's kicked the cigarette craving. It's kicked a lot of my appetite. It's kind of controlled it a lot, and the energy level is just way up. And I think that I'm gonna continue using it because there's no like harmful side effects to it or anything that I'm aware of. Some people say it can't be good for you because you're vaping some kind of chemical base or whatever, but I don't really believe that. Just like a lot of the food that's touted to be bad for us. I mean, how bad is it for us? We don't know because nobody does long-term studies on how something affects a person or a group of people for, 10 years, 15, 20 years, 30 years. They don't do studies like that because it's just not cost effective. That's why a lot of these medical studies and stuff that are put out, I don't put any kind of effort in believing because how are you going to follow somebody to see if aspartame really does cause cancer unless you do this for 15, 20 years or longer? You don't know. You don't know what the long-term side effects of this stuff is. And then by the time somebody does diagnosed with something in that time frame, they've already done so many different things with their life. You're never going to be able to pick out what's caused it. So it's a shot in the dark. You don't know what affects you long term. You only know what affects you right now. And I guess that's really the only accurate thing you can go off of. Anyhow, number of topics covered this morning. Um, I'm gonna get off of here, and I hope y'all have a great day. And just be thankful for what you got. Spend your time with your families, and just remember the will, the won't, the can, and the can't. It's up to you. You're the one that can change your life, not anybody else. All right, guys. Take care and keto on.